Alex Carter looked out the small window of the rescue shuttle as it landed on a snowy planet. White snow blew past the glass. The world outside looked cold and empty, with nothing but ice and broken metal from a crashed alien building. Alex was the team leader. He felt nervous. They had come here because of a weak distress signal, and they were not sure what they would find. His team was small. There was Matt, the pilot, who was quiet and steady, and Katie, the medic, who always tried to smile even when she was scared. The shuttle touched down with a soft bump. The engines grew quiet, and the world outside seemed even more silent. Alex pulled on his heavy jacket and checked his radio. He told Matt and Katie to stay close. The cold air bit at their faces as they stepped outside. Snow crunched under their boots. Broken walls from the alien research outpost rose up from the snow, dark shapes in the white world. They followed the signal to a half-buried doorway. Alex went first. He held up a flashlight and shone it into the darkness. The inside of the building was colder than outside. It felt empty, like the place had been left in a hurry. Metal panels were ripped from the walls. There were old bloodstains on the floor, and broken alien machines lay everywhere. Alex called out, but there was no answer. They moved slowly, looking in every room. The distress signal was weak now. Alex was starting to worry that there was nobody left to save. Then, in a small side room, he found something. At first, Alex thought it was a pile of clothes. But then he saw a small movement. He stepped closer and saw a young woman, but she was not human. Her skin was a pale blue, and she had strange silver hair. She was curled up, shivering, her arms wrapped around herself. She had no clothes, only a thin blanket that was not enough to keep her warm. She looked up at Alex with wide eyes, her lips blue from the cold. She tried to speak, but her words were strange. It sounded almost like English, but not quite. She flinched away, afraid, but she was too weak to move far. Alex knelt down and spoke gently. He told her his name and said he would not hurt her. He pulled off his thick jacket and carefully wrapped it around her shoulders. She shivered and hugged the warm coat tightly. Katie came in and knelt beside them. She spoke softly and gave the girl a drink of water. The alien woman took it with shaking hands. She tried to say something again, her words slow and broken. She was scared and looked like she had not slept for a long time. Suddenly, Matt's voice came over the radio. He sounded worried. He had seen movement outside. Alex listened carefully. The woman's eyes grew wide with fear. She looked at Alex and whispered very quietly, almost too soft to hear, "Please pretend I'm your wife." Alex was confused, but he saw how scared she was. Her hands shook, and she looked at the doorway as if someone dangerous was coming. Alex nodded. He squeezed her hand and promised softly, "Okay, I'll help you." Heavy footsteps echoed in the hall. 3 alien soldiers walked in. They wore black armor and carried strange guns. Their eyes were cold, and their faces had sharp marks that made them look even scarier. They spoke in a rough alien language, then switched to English. "Who are you?" One soldier asked, "Why are you here?" Alex stood up and kept his hand on the alien woman's shoulder. He said they were human rescuers and found the outpost empty. The woman pressed closer to Alex. She kept her eyes on the floor and did not speak. The lead soldier looked at Alex, then at the woman. He asked her name. She said quietly, "My name is Lyra." She spoke slowly, trying to sound calm. The soldier's eyes narrowed. "Why are you with him?" he asked in a hard voice. Lyra swallowed. She did not look up, she said. "He is my husband. We are together. Please, let us go." The soldier did not look convinced. He asked for proof. Alex pulled out his human identification card and showed it. He tried to sound confident and friendly. "We came to help," Alex said. She was here, cold and alone. "We're leaving now," the soldiers whispered to each other in their own language. One of them looked at Lyra and said, "You look familiar. Are you sure you belong with these humans?" Lyra's hand squeezed Alex's tightly. Alex nodded. "She belongs with us," he said. "She's my wife." For a moment, nobody moved. The cold air seemed even colder. Finally, the lead soldier nodded once. He told Alex and his team to leave quickly and not come back. The 3 soldiers turned. and left the way they came. Alex waited until he could not hear their boots anymore. Lyra let out a long breath. She looked close to crying. Katie helped her stand up. Matt came to the door and checked that the soldiers were really gone. Alex helped Lyra walk. She was so cold and weak that she could hardly take a step. Katie wrapped her in another blanket. The snow outside made her shiver even more. Matt led the way back to the shuttle, moving as fast as he could without making Lyra fall. When they got back inside, the warm air from the shuttle made Lyra gasp. She dropped to her knees and cried softly. Alex closed the door and locked it. Katie made Lyra sit on the bench near the heater. She brought her hot soup and a soft towel. Lyra tried to speak again. Her voice was tired and small. "Thank you," she sighed. "You saved me," Alex smiled gently. "You're safe now," he told her. Lyra looked at the humans with wide eyes. She did not seem to believe them yet. But she pulled the coat tighter around her and nodded. Alex sat next to her and asked her name again. She said Lara. He asked where she was from, but she just shook her head. "Not safe," she whispered. "Bad people." I ran. I hid. Cold. Katie gave Lyra a new set of clothes and left her alone to change. When Lyra came out, she looked cleaner and less scared, but she was still shaking. Matt made her tea and handed her a soft cookie. Lyra stared at the cookie like she did not know what it was, then took a small bite. Her eyes widened in surprise. "It's sweet," she whispered. Alex smiled again. "You'll be all right," he said. "We'll help you." Lyra tried to relax. She looked at each member of the team, her eyes filled with questions. Alex could see she was still frightened, but a little hope had come back into her face. Matt checked the scanners. The soldiers were gone for now. Alex knew they would have to leave soon, but he did not want to move Lyra too quickly. He promised her they would keep her safe. Lyra did not speak, but she did not let go of Alex's hand. The snow outside grew heavier, covering the tracks of everyone who had come before. Inside the shuttle, the small group sat close together. Lyra, once freezing and alone, was now surrounded by people who wanted to help her. For the first time in a long time, she felt a little less alone. Alex sat with Lyra until she fell asleep. She curled up under a blanket, still holding his coat. The team watched over her as the storm outside howled on. They did not know what dangers would come next, but for now, they had each other. Lyra slept for a long time on the shuttle bench, curled up under Alex's heavy coat. Her breathing was soft and slow, but her face still looked worried, even in sleep. Katie sat beside her, checking her pulse from time to time and making sure the heater stayed on. Matt sat at the controls, watching the scanner and making sure the shuttle was safe. Alex could not relax. He kept thinking about the alien soldiers who had come looking for Lyra. He wondered who they were and why they wanted her so badly. Finally, Lyra woke up. She blinked her eyes and looked around the shuttle. At first she seemed confused, but then she remembered where she was. She sat up, holding the coat close. Katie handed her a cup of warm water and spoke softly. Do you feel better?" Katie asked. Lyra nodded a little, but she still looked scared. She whispered, "Thank you," softly, not looking up. Alex sat on the other side of her. He tried to smile, but he could see that Lyra was nervous and shy. He wanted to help her, but he did not know what to say. He decided to ask questions slowly and gently, hoping she would not feel afraid. "You said your name is Lyra, right?" Alex asked. "Can you tell us where you're from?" Lyra looked at her hands. Her fingers were still blue from the cold, but they were getting warmer. She said, "I come from Karathal, but it is gone. I was taken. I ran. I do not want to go back." Matt turned in his chair and listened. Katie reached over and gently touched Lyra's arm. Alex nodded and said, "You don't have to go back. You're safe here." Lyra's eyes filled with tears. She tried to hide her face. Katie handed her a tissue, and Lyra wiped her eyes slowly. "Why did those soldiers want you?" Matt asked quietly. Lyra looked at the floor. She seemed to be thinking very hard. Then she said, "They want something I know. They want the old thing. It is not theirs. They hurt my people. I ran away." Alex understood that Lyra was scared of those soldiers, and they were probably still looking for her. He promised again, "We won't let them take you." Katie brought Lara a new set of clothes. They were simple, human clothes, but they were soft and warm. Lyra took them and went to the small bathroom to change. When she came out, she looked almost like a normal girl, except her skin was still a pale blue and her silver hair hung down her back. She looked around the shuttle, taking in every detail. The humans gave her more food. Lyra tasted bread and fruit and soup. She ate slowly, not trusting that there would be more food later. Matt smiled and said, "Eat as much as you want. There's plenty." After eating, Lyra relaxed a little. She began to look at the humans and watch what they did. She watched as Matt checked the scanners and spoke quietly with Alex. She listened as Katie hummed a soft song and organized supplies. Lyra seemed curious, but still unsure. Katie tried to start a conversation. She asked Lyra about her home, but Lyra only shook her head and said, "It was beautiful, but now it is broken. The soldiers burned it. My family is gone. I do not know where they are." Alex felt sorry for her. He knew that she was alone in the universe now, except for them. He tried to make her feel welcome. "You can stay with us as long as you want," Alex said. "We'll help you find your family, if we can." Lyra looked at Alex for a long moment. She nodded, but it was clear she was not sure she could believe him. She was still frightened, but she was trying to trust him. Suddenly the scanner beeped. Matt checked it and said, "There's movement outside." "Someone's coming." Alex and Matt looked out the small window. In the snow they saw shadows moving. It was the alien soldiers again. There were more of them, this time maybe 5 or 6. They walked slowly, looking around, searching the ground for tracks. Lyra's face went white with fear. She backed away from the window and pressed herself against the wall. "They're coming for me," she whispered. Alex shook his head. "We won't let them take you," he promised. The soldiers came to the door of the shuttle. One of them knocked hard. Alex stood up and told Lyra to stay behind him. Matt picked up a small tool, just in case they needed to fight. Katie stood near Lyra and tried to keep her calm. Alex opened the door a crack. The cold wind blew inside. The lead soldier stared at Alex with angry eyes. "Give us the girl," the soldier said. "She does not belong with you." Alex kept his voice calm. "She is my wife. She stays with me." The soldier did not look convinced. He pushed the door open wider. Lyra stood behind Alex, her face hidden, but the soldiers saw her. One of them tried to reach for her, but Alex blocked his way. "She stays with me," Alex said again. "If you want to talk, talk to me." The soldiers stepped back. The leader said, "If you do not give her to us, you will have trouble. Humans should not get involved." Alex knew he could not fight the soldiers if they tried to force their way inside. He tried to stay calm and think fast. "We are leaving now," Alex said. "Let us go, and you won't have any problems." The soldier glared at Alex. He looked at Lyra, then at the other humans. He whispered something to his team in their own language. One of the soldiers said, "She is not your wife." "You lie." Alex shook his head. "She is my wife," he said again, his voice strong. "We found her here. She is part of my crew." The soldiers did not seem to know what to do. For a moment it looked like they would attack. But then the leader stepped back and nodded. "Go," he said. "But if we see you again, there will be trouble." Alex nodded and quickly shut the door. He turned to the others. "We have to get out of here," he said. Matt started the engines. The shuttle warmed up and the snow blew around them. Lyra watched with wide eyes as the humans worked together, moving quickly and calmly. As the shuttle lifted off the ground, Lyra looked out the window. She saw the soldiers getting smaller and smaller, until they disappeared into the snowy landscape. Lyra let out a sigh of relief. She looked at Alex and whispered, "Thank you." Alex smiled gently. He could see that Lyra was still scared, but she was starting to trust him. The shuttle moved away from the old outpost, heading back to the human base camp. Inside, the mood was tense, but Lyra began to relax. She sat quietly, her hands in her lap, watching everything. After a while, Katie came to sit with her. She tried to make Lyra laugh by telling her a funny story about Matt and a broken food machine. Lyra listened carefully and gave a small, nervous smile. Matt turned around in his chair and asked, "What do those soldiers want, really? Why are they chasing you?" Lyra hesitated, but then she spoke, her voice soft. They want the artifact. It is old and powerful. I helped guard it, but they want to use it for war. My people tried to stop them, but we failed. I ran away with the key so they could not find it. Alex and Matt looked at each other. Alex said, "Do you still have the key?" Lyra shook her head. "No, I hid it. Only I know where it is." Alex thought for a moment. He could see that Lyra was very brave, even if she was scared. He promised her again, "We will help you. You can trust us." Lyra nodded slowly. For the first time, she looked at Alex and really believed his words. As the shuttle flew through the snowy sky, Lyra felt warm for the first time in a long time. She was not alone anymore. She had new friends who cared for her. Later, when the shuttle landed at the base camp, the humans brought Lyra inside and showed her around. They gave her a small bed in a warm room and made sure she had everything she needed. Lyra thanked them again and again, her voice getting a little stronger. Each time Alex watched her and felt proud of his team. He knew they had done the right thing. He promised himself he would protect Lyra no matter what. That night, as the storm blew outside, Lyra lay in her bed and listened to the quiet voices of her new friends. She closed her eyes and whispered a soft thank you, hoping that somewhere her family could hear her. She was still scared, but for the first time, she felt hope. If you want the next part, let me know, and I will continue the story. Lyra woke up slowly the next morning. For a moment, she forgot where she was. Then she saw the warm blanket, the soft bed, and the sunlight coming through the window. She remembered the night before and felt a little safer. She could still hear the wind outside, but it did not sound so scary now. She sat up and looked around the small room the humans had given her. Katie knocked quietly and peeked in. "Good morning, Lyra. Did you sleep well?" Katie asked. Lyra nodded. She tried to smile, even though she still felt nervous. Katie brought her a bowl of warm oatmeal with honey and fruit. Lyra tasted it and found it sweet and soft. She finished it quickly, feeling stronger with each bite. When she was ready, Lyra went to the main room of the base. Alex and Matt were already awake. Matt was fixing some broken equipment, and Alex was talking on the radio with someone from the human main base. They both looked up when Lyra walked in. "Morning, Lyra," Alex said. "Did you rest well?" "Yes, thank you," Lyra answered quietly. She watched as the humans moved around the base. She was trying to understand their customs. They seemed to laugh a lot, and they liked to talk to each other, even about small things. Alex showed her how to use the sink and where to find more food. He also gave her a soft sweater to wear over her clothes because it was still very cold. Lyra thanked him. She felt shy, but she wanted to learn more about these strange, kind humans. While Matt worked, Katie sat down with Lyra and tried to teach her some more English words. Katie pointed at different things in the room: a chair, a table, a cup, a spoon, and said the names slowly. Lyra repeated the words, making Katie smile. After a while, Alex joined them. He saw that Lyra was trying hard to learn and wanted to help. He drew some simple pictures and wrote the words underneath. Lyra practiced the words again and again. She made mistakes, but Alex and Katie were patient and gentle. Lyra was surprised when she started to laugh with them. Matt finished fixing the equipment and asked, "Do you want to see how the scanner works, Lyra?" She nodded, curious. Matt showed her the screen, the buttons, and the blinking lights. Lyra listened carefully and tried to remember everything. Later, Alex told the team what he had learned from the main base. He said the patrol that searched for Lyra yesterday is still in the area. They're looking for something important, an artifact. "Lyra, do you know what it is?" Lyra hesitated. She looked down, her hands tight in her lap. She spoke softly, afraid. "The artifact is old. It comes from my world. It has great power. My people were supposed to keep it safe. The soldiers, they wanted to make war. I used to help guard it. When the soldiers came, I took the key and hid it. Now they are looking for me, because I know where it is." Alex nodded. "Thank you for telling us," he said. "You were very brave." Lyra's eyes filled with tears, but she tried not to let them fall. "I did not want to leave my family," she said, "but I had to protect the artifact. I'm afraid they will find it." Katie reached out and held Lyra's hand. You did the right thing? We'll help you, she promised. The crew talked quietly about what to do. Matt thought they should leave as soon as possible before the patrol found them again. Katie wanted to help Lyra find her family, if they were still alive. Alex knew that staying in one place was dangerous, but he also wanted to help Lyra. Before they could decide, the scanner beeped loudly. Matt looked at the screen and said, "The patrol is coming back." "There are more of them this time." Lyra's face turned pale. She stood up quickly, shaking. "They're coming for me." "I'm sorry," she said. Alex shook his head. "It's not your fault," he said, "but we have to move now." The crew started to pack their things. Katie helped Lyra put on her coat and boots. Matt shut down the equipment and checked the doors and windows. Alex looked outside and saw the patrol ships landing in the snow. "We have to go through the back," Alex said. He led the way to a small service door at the back of the building. Lyra followed close behind, with Katie and Matt helping her. They slipped out into the snow and hurried across the frozen ground. The wind was cold and strong, but they moved as fast as they could. Lyra's legs were shaking, but she kept going. She wanted to help her new friends and not slow them down. They reached a line of rocks near the edge of the outpost. Alex stopped and looked back. He could see the patrol searching the building they had just left. He turned to Lyra. "Do you know a safe place to hide?" he asked. Lyra nodded slowly. "Yes, there is a cave nearby. I hid there before." "I can show you." Alex trusted her. He told the others to follow Lyra. She led them through the rocks and down a narrow path. The snow was deep, but she remembered the way. After a short walk, they reached the mouth of a small cave hidden behind some bush. Inside it was dark and cold, but at least they were out of sight. Alex turned on a small lamp and looked around. The cave was empty except for some old blankets and a broken box. Lyra sat down and tried to catch her breath. Katie gave her some water and a snack. Matt checked the scanner again. "The patrol is getting closer." "We should be quiet," he whispered. Lyra pulled her knees to her chest and listened to the sounds outside. She was scared, but she felt better with her human friends close by. Alex sat next to her and whispered, "We'll be okay. We just need to wait for them to leave." The patrol searched the outpost for a long time. They shouted in their strange language and fired their guns into the air. Lyra flinched at every sound, but Alex kept his arm around her. Katie squeezed her hand. Matt kept watching the scanner. After a long time, the noise outside grew quiet. The patrol seemed to move on, searching somewhere else. Alex let out a sigh of relief. Matt said, "I think they're gone for now." The crew stayed in the cave for a while longer just to be safe. Lyra finally relaxed and leaned against Alex. She looked up at him with tired eyes. "Thank you for helping me," she whispered. "I was so scared." Alex smiled gently. "We're your friends now," he said. "You don't have to be afraid." Lyra nodded. She felt a warmth in her heart that she had not felt in a long time. She looked at her new friends, Alex, Katie, and Matt, and knew that she could trust them. After the patrol was gone, the crew left the cave and went back to the shuttle. They moved quickly, not wanting to be seen. Lyra led the way, keeping an eye out for danger. When they reached the shuttle, they climbed inside and locked the doors. Matt started the engines and checked the controls. Alex sat with Lyra, helping her take off her wet boots and wrap up in a dry blanket. Katie made everyone hot chocolate and handed out some cookies. The crew sat together, tired but safe for now. Lyra sipped her drink slowly, looking at each of her friends in turn. Matt spoke up. "What should we do now? We can't stay here. The patrol will keep looking for us." Alex thought for a moment. "Lyra, do you think you can show us where you hid the key? Maybe if we find the artifact first, we can keep it safe from the patrol." Lyra hesitated. She was scared, but she trusted Alex. She nodded slowly. "Yes, I will show you," she said. "It is not far from here, but it is dangerous. The patrol will come back. We'll protect you," Alex promised. The crew agreed to help. They made a plan to go to the place where Lyra hid the key, hoping to reach it before the patrol did. That night, Lyra lay awake in her bed, thinking about her family and her old life. She missed them so much, but she felt a little hope in her heart. She was not alone anymore. She had new friends who cared for her and wanted to help. She closed her eyes and whispered a silent thank you. In the morning, the team got ready for their journey. They packed food, water, and supplies. Lyra drew a simple map of the way to the artifact, showing them the safest path. Alex checked his equipment and made sure everyone was ready. They left the shuttle and followed Lyra into the snowy wilds, not knowing what dangers they would face. But they went together, trusting each other, ready to face whatever came next. If you want the next part, let me know, and I will continue the story. The next morning was even colder than before. Frost covered the windows of the shuttle, and the ground outside was hidden by a thick layer of new snow. The wind made sharp, whistling sounds as it blew past the small camp. Inside, Alex, Matt, Katie, and Lyra ate a quick breakfast and checked their supplies. Everyone felt a little nervous about the journey ahead, but nobody wanted to say it out loud. Lyra looked out the window, her eyes focused on the snowy hills far away. After packing their bags, the crew stood near the shuttle door. Lyra showed them the simple map she had drawn by hand. The path was not long, but it would take them over frozen ground and through deep snow. The hiding place for the key was in an old part of the alien outpost, a place Lyra had found when she first arrived here. She hoped the patrol had not discovered it yet. Matt carried the scanner to look for signs of the patrol. Katie carried a small medical kit and extra food. Alex checked his radio and flashlight, making sure everything worked. Lyra wrapped herself in her coat and pulled the hood up to cover her hair. She tried to look brave, but her hands shook a little as she held the map. They left the shuttle, stepping carefully through the snow. Their breaths made white clouds in the cold air. The world around them was quiet except for the wind and the soft crunch of their boots. As they walked, Alex kept checking behind them to make sure nobody followed. Lyra led the way, looking for landmarks she remembered. She pointed to a group of tall rocks and said, "We go left here. The snow is deeper, but it is safe." They moved slowly, sometimes sinking into the snow up to their knees. Lyra helped Katie when she slipped, and Matt helped Alex climb over a fallen tree. Even though it was hard, nobody complained. They all wanted to help Lyra, and they all wanted to reach the hiding place before the patrol did. After a long walk, they reached the edge of the old outpost ruins. The walls were half buried in snow, and many of the buildings were broken or empty. Lyra looked around, searching for something familiar. "It is here," she said, pointing to a small door half covered by ice. She brushed the snow away and pulled at the handle. The door was heavy, but Alex helped her open it. Inside, the air was cold and still. The room was dark, but Alex turned on his flashlight. They stepped inside, closing the door behind them. The room was empty except for some old furniture and a broken table. Lyra went to the far wall and knelt down. She felt along the floor, searching for a loose tile. "Here," she said quietly. She pushed aside the tile, revealing a small hole. Inside, the hole was a tiny silver object. Lyra reached in and took it out. It was the key, a smooth oval shape that fit in her hand. Alex looked at it closely. "Is this the key to the artifact?" he asked. Lyra nodded. "Yes, without this, the artifact will not work. The soldiers want it very much." Matt checked the scanner and frowned. "The patrol is close," he whispered. "We have to hurry." Suddenly, loud voices echoed from outside. The soldiers had found the building. Alex and Matt turned off their lights and pulled everyone close to the wall. Katie held Laura's hand. Lyra hid the key in her pocket, her heart beating fast. The door opened with a crash. 3 alien soldiers stepped inside, their guns ready. The leader was tall and angry-looking, with deep lines on his face. He spoke in his own language, then switched to English. "We know you are here," he said. "Give us the girl and the key." Alex stepped forward, standing between Lyra and the soldiers. "She is under my protection," Alex said, trying to sound brave. "You will not take her," the leader laughed. "You are only humans. You cannot stop us." Lyra took a deep breath. She looked at the soldiers, her fear turning into something stronger. She remembered what Alex and the others had done for her. She knew she could not let the soldiers hurt her friends or take the key. "No," she said, stepping out from behind Alex. "I will not go with you. You cannot have the key." If you hurt the humans, others will come. You will have war, the soldiers hesitated. The leader looked at Lyra, surprised by her courage. Why do you care about these humans? He asked. Lyra's voice shook a little, but she did not look away. They saved me. They are my friends. I trust them. The leader growled and pointed his gun at Alex. Give us the key now, or your friend will die. Katie gasped and grabbed Lyra's arm. Matt looked around, searching for a way out. Alex did not move. He stared back at the soldier, not afraid. Lyra knew what she had to do. She slowly took the key from her pocket and held it up for everyone to see. If you hurt us, you will never find the artifact, she said. I am the only one who knows where it is. The leader glared at her. You will take us to it? He demanded. Lyra shook her head. Only if my friends are safe. The soldiers talked quietly among themselves. They did not want to fight the humans and risk more trouble. The leader finally nodded. Fine, he said. You will lead us to the artifact. If you lie, your friends will suffer. Alex touched Lyra's shoulder. He whispered, Are you sure about this? Lyra nodded. She had made her choice. She would not let her friends get hurt, no matter what. The group left the small room, led by the soldiers. The snow outside was falling harder, making it hard to see. Lyra walked in front, holding the key tightly in her hand. Alex, Katie, and Matt followed close behind. Watched by the soldiers, they walked across the ruins, moving toward a hidden chamber that Lyra knew well. She tried to remember every turn, every stone, every shadow. The soldiers stayed close, never letting them out of sight. After a long walk, they reached the entrance to the chamber. It was hidden by rocks and almost invisible in the snow. Lyra showed the leader where to step, and the group went inside. The chamber was cold and dark. In the center stood the artifact, a large, round device covered in strange symbols. It glowed with a soft blue light. The soldiers looked at it hungrily, eager to take its power. Give me the key, the leader said, holding out his hand. Lyra looked at her friends, then at the soldiers. She knew she could not let them have the artifact. She remembered what her family had taught her. Sometimes you had to be brave, even when you were scared. She turned to Alex and gave him a small, sad smile. As she spoke to the leader, I will use the key. Only I know how, she said. The leader hesitated, but finally nodded. Do it, he ordered. Lyra walked to the artifact and fit the key into a small slot. She turned it slowly. The artifact began to hum and glow brighter. The soldiers stepped back, surprised by the light. Lyra whispered a few words in her own language. The artifact's light changed, and a barrier appeared between the humans and the soldiers. Alex, Matt, and Katie stared in shock. Lyra turned to them and shouted, Run, I will stop them. The soldiers fired their guns at the barrier, but nothing happened. Alex grabbed Katie and Matt and pulled them back toward the exit. Come on, Alex yelled. We have to get out. Lyra stayed behind, using the artifact to hold the soldiers back. She watched her friends run to safety, her heart pounding. The soldiers shouted and tried to break through the barrier, but it held strong, finally. When Alex, Katie, and Matt were gone, Lyra let go of the key. The light faded and the chamber grew quiet. The soldiers were trapped, unable to reach her or the artifact. Lyra slipped out through a small door at the side of the chamber. She ran through the snow, her breath coming in short gasps. She could see her friends waiting for her near the edge of the ruins. She reached them and fell to her knees, exhausted. Alex pulled her into a hug. You did it, he said. You saved us. Lyra smiled, tears running down her face. I could not let them hurt you, she whispered. Katie and Matt hugged her too. The four friends stood together in the snow, safe for now. They walked back to the shuttle as the storm faded. Lyra felt tired but proud. She knew she had done the right thing. She looked at her friends and felt hope for the first time in a long while. Alex, Katie, Matt, and Lyra left the hidden chamber behind them. Snow fell softly as they walked back to the shuttle. The wind no longer howled, but the air was still cold and sharp. Lyra climbed inside first, her legs shaking from the run. Alex helped her up and closed the door against the snow. Inside the shuttle, warmth wrapped around them like a soft blanket. Katie made hot soup while Matt checked the scanners for any sign of soldiers. Alex wrapped a dry blanket around Lyra's shoulders and sat with her until she felt steady. I thought they would break through, Lyra said, her voice shaking, but the barrier held them back. I did not know I could do that. Alex smiled gently. You were brave, he said. You saved us all. Lyra looked down at her hands. Her skin felt warm again for the first time in days. She held the key tightly, unsure of what to do next. Alex sat close and softly asked, "What will you do with the artifact now?" Lyra was quiet. She had pushed the key into the artifact by accident, but she did not know how to control it. She still felt its power in her mind. The blue light from the chamber flashed in her memory. Katie stirred the soup and brought bowls for everyone. She handed one to Lyra and sat opposite her. "Eat," she said. "You need strength." Lyra took the bowl and sipped the soup. It was warm and salty, a taste she had never had before. She closed her eyes and let the warmth spread inside her. When she opened her eyes, she looked at the humans with new hope. "I want to protect it," Lyra said. "I cannot let those soldiers find it. They will use it for war. My people believed it could heal, but they never told me how. I only know what I learned." Matt nodded. "We will help you," he said. "We can take it somewhere safe." Alex thought for a moment. The human base on the other side of this system has a secure vault. They can keep the artifact there. But we need to hide it until we reach the ship. Lyra looked at Alex. "Do you trust me to keep it safe for now?" she asked. Alex met her eyes. "Yes," he said, "I trust you." Lyra held the key carefully. She closed her eyes and remembered the power inside the chamber. She felt a gentle warmth flow through her like a heartbeat. She opened her eyes and looked at her friends. "I can hide it," Lyra said. "I know how to hide it better." "Follow me." Alex and the others stood and followed Lyra as she led them again into the cold night. They walked to the ruins of a broken tower near the outpost. The tower was hollow with tall, empty windows and a crumbled roof. Lyra pushed aside some debris and climbed through a narrow gap in the wall. Inside, the wind rose up through the broken roof. The walls were smooth and curved. Lyra walked to a corner where a loose stone lay on the floor. She bent down and moved the stone aside. Underneath was a small cavity. "This is where I will hide the key," she said. "It is safe here. No one will find it." Alex knelt beside her and watched. Lyra placed the key in the hole and covered it with the stone. She pressed it firmly until it blended with the floor. The others watched in silence. When she finished, Lyra stood and closed her eyes. She felt lighter, like a heavy weight had lifted from her heart. "Now we leave," she said. "We must not stay here." They climbed out of the tower and returned to the shuttle. Matt started the engines, and the shuttle took off into the night sky. Inside, the crew was quiet, each lost in thought. Alex looked at Lyra. "You did well," he said. "We are almost safe." Lyra nodded, but she still looked worried. "What if they come after me again?" Katie reached over and held her hand. "We will always protect you," she said. Matt checked the scanner. "No patrols near us now?" "We have enough time to travel before they catch up." Lyra felt a small smile. For the first time, she believed they might make it. She sat back and closed her eyes, letting the soft hum of the engines lull her. The next morning, the shuttle approached the human base station. The walls were bright white and silver, shining in the pale light of the star. Inside the station, people moved in clean corridors. Alex contacted the security office and arranged for a private vault room when the shuttle docked. Alex, Katie, Matt, and Lyra walked through the airlock and into the station. They followed a guard down narrow hallways until they reached a thick metal door. "This is the vault," the guard said. "Only a few people know the code. Follow me." Inside, the room was small and empty except for a pedestal in the center. Alex nodded to the guard. "Please leave us for a moment," he said. The guard closed the door behind him. Alex, Katie, and Matt stood around the pedestal. Lyra reached into her pocket and held the key over the pedestal. "I want to make sure it stays safe," Lyra said. "I want to protect my people." Alex placed a hand on her shoulder. "You have done more than enough. Let the humans guard it now." Lyra hesitated. The warmth from the key flowed into her hand. She looked at the pedestal and felt its quiet power. With a small nod, she placed the key on the pedestal. The key glowed softly and fit into a slot. The slot closed around it, locking it in place. There. It is safe now, Lyra said. Matt entered the code on a nearby panel. With a soft click, the vault door sealed the key inside a glass case. The key's glow faded, and the room grew quiet. Alex smiled. It is safe here, he said. No one can get to it without the code and a special key card. Lyra felt a tear on her cheek. Thank you, she whispered. You have given me hope again. Katie hugged her. We are your family now, she said. Lyra looked at each of them. She no longer felt alone. She still missed her home and her people, but she knew she had found new friends who would help her. Alex took Lyra's hand. Now we need to help your people. We must find out what happened to them. Lyra nodded. She felt ready. She looked at the vault and then at her friends. The journey was not over, but together they could face anything. They left the vault, closing the door behind them. The key lay safe in its glass case, waiting for the day it would be needed again. Until then, they would stand together against any threat and fight for hope and peace. The storm had passed by the time the shuttle set down on the frozen clearing. A pale dawn light spread across the snow, turning the landscape into a silent, white world. Alex opened the door and helped Lyra step onto the ground. Her boots sank slightly into the soft snow. She shivered, but this time it was from relief and hope rather than fear. Katie and Matt followed, carrying bags of supplies. The shuttle's engines wound down and the hum faded. For a moment the only sound was the crunch of snow under their boots and the distant call of an alien bird. Alex looked at Lyra and gave her a gentle smile. This base camp is safe, he said. We will rest here before we move on. Lyra nodded. She breathed deeply, feeling the crisp air fill her lungs. She looked around at the humans who had become her family. Katie offered her a hot drink in a small metal cup. Lyra accepted it, holding the warm cup between her gloved hands. Thank you, she said softly. For everything. Alex looked toward the shuttle. We should store the artifact now, he said. Then we can plan our next steps. Lyra followed Alex into the shuttle. Inside, the air was warm and the seats were soft. Matt unlocked a secure container and retrieved the small glass case holding the key. Lyra watched as Alex gently picked up the case. It is time, Alex said. Let's return this to the main vault. They carried the case out together and placed it in a heavy crate. A guard from the base took the crate and promised to secure it immediately. Lyra watched the crate being loaded onto a transport sled. She felt a weight lift from her chest. The key was safe, and the artifact was under human protection. For now, she could relax, but Lyra knew her journey was not finished. She still had to decide where she belonged. She looked at Alex. I want to stay with you, she said. I want to learn more about your world. Alex's eyes lit up. We would be honored to have you, he said. Katie smiled. You are one of us now. Matt nodded in agreement. Lyra felt warmth spread through her heart. She had found a new home. Over the next days, Lyra settled into life at the base. She practiced English with Katie each morning, learning new words for human foods, places, and feelings. She joined Matt in the workshop, where she helped repair damaged equipment using her nimble fingers and sharp mind. Alex showed her the base's greenhouse, where small plants grew under artificial lights. One afternoon, Alex invited Lyra to the command tower. They rode in a small lift up to the top of the base. From there they could see farther than anywhere else on the planet. The broken outpost lay in the distance, half buried by ice. Beyond that were hills and forests and wide rivers frozen solid. Lyra gazed at the view. It was nothing like her homeworld, but it was beautiful in its own way. She turned to Alex. Thank you for showing me this, she said. Alex put his hand on her shoulder. You belong here, he said. Lyra smiled and leaned her head against his shoulder. She felt safe and happy, but life at the base was not always quiet. One night the alarm sounded. Red lights blinked and sirens wailed. Alex, Katie, Matt, and Lyra ran into the hallway. What is it? Lyra asked, her heart pounding. Alex checked his communicator. It is the artifact vault, he said. Someone tried to Break in. The four of them hurried down the corridor to the vault entrance. Security teams were already there, scanning the area. No one had entered, but the locks showed signs of tampering. Lyra felt fear rise in her chest. The soldiers or someone else might have found the vault. The security chief turned to Alex. They must have used some advanced tool, he said. But they did not get inside. Alex nodded. Keep the area locked down, he said. No one leaves until we find. Who did this? Lyra and the team waited in a safe room. Lyra's mind raced. She cared for the key and the artifact. She felt responsible, even though she knew it was not her fault. After an hour, the security chief returned. We found nothing, he said. Whoever tried this left no trace. Alex looked at Lyra. Are you all right? He asked. Lyra nodded slowly. I am fine, she lied. Katie touched her arm. You can tell us if you are scared. Lyra took a deep breath. I am worried, she said. I thought it would be safe here. Matt knelt beside her. We will protect it, he said. We will strengthen security. Over the next days, the base increased security around the vault. Guards doubled and new sensors were installed. Lyra helped by showing them how the alien technology might work, helping to build better alarms. Then, one day, Alex called Lyra to study the data from the sensors. They sat in front of a screen showing small blips of energy. Look here, Alex said. This reading is not from any human device. It matches the alien power of the artifact. Lyra's heart raced. Someone has come here to find the artifact, she thought. Alex. And Lyra studied the readings. The blips were small but consistent, like a thin beam of energy passing through the walls. The intruder must be using a device to locate the artifact. We need to find them, Alex said. Lyra, can you sense their device? Lyra closed her eyes and reached out with her mind, remembering how the artifact felt. She felt a faint pulse, like a heartbeat, coming from the north wing. There, she said. There in the north wing? Alex and a security team went to the north wing. Lyra led the way. They moved quietly through the corridors until they saw a figure at the end of the hall. The intruder was tall and wore a dark suit. They held a small device in their hand, scanning the walls. Alex called out, "Freeze!" The intruder jumped and turned. The person raised their hands. They were not one of the soldiers Lyra had known. Their face was hidden by a hood. Who are you? Alex asked. The intruder's voice was calm. I am a curator, they said. I study artifacts. I came to help. Lyra felt unsure. How does she know about the artifact? She wondered. Alex lowered his weapon. Slightly, but did not relax. Why did you try to break in? He asked. The curator sighed. I did not break in. I used my scanner to locate the artifact. I did not know the code to open the vault. My goal was to study it, to learn how it works. Katie stepped forward. A curator? She asked. Like a museum worker? The curator nodded. Yes, I work for the Galactic Museum. We preserve ancient artifacts. I thought the artifact belonged to all peoples, not just one group. Lyra felt her fear ease a little. Maybe this person could help. Alex frowned. We cannot take chances. This artifact is too dangerous. The curator held up their hands. I swear I meant no harm, they said. I want to help you protect it. Lyra looked at the curator. I know you're kind. They protect history. But why come here, to a military base? She asked. The curator's face softened. Some believe the artifact has healing power. Others want it for power. The museum wants to keep it safe and study its history. We heard rumors you had it. Alex spoke again. We trust Lyra, but we cannot trust you yet. We will hold you until we decide. The curator lowered the scanner and nodded. I understand, they said. They escorted the curator to a holding cell in the base. Lyra watched, feeling uneasy. She wondered if they had made a mistake. That night, Lyra could not sleep. She thought about the curator and the artifact. She knew it was her duty to protect it, but she also knew it needed to be understood. The next morning, Alex found Lyra in the greenhouse. She was feeding small plants. Are you all right? Alex asked. Lyra nodded. I think the curator can help us learn more, she said. Alex looked at her. You trust them? He asked. Lyra thought of her people and the artifact's history. I do, she said firmly. But we must watch them. Alex smiled and took her hand. We will do it your way. Together, they walked back to the command tower. Lyra felt hopeful. She had found a new home and a new purpose. She would protect the artifact and learn its secrets. And with her friends by her side, she knew they could face whatever came next.